Hi everyone, welcome to the Menu Mix with me, Matt Holy.
And me, George Wetz. And the Menu Mix is a podcast where each week we take a leading restaurant group and we see how they are solving some of the challenges that are going on in the restaurant industry right now using some innovative techniques and solutions. So today we are going to be looking at a concept called Flower Child.
Flower Child.
So Flower Child is a limited service concept that was started many years ago by Sam Fox, who is a third generation restaurateur originally in Tucson, and they have now grown that to around 20 locations in their group. It started with a location called Wildflower, and then they've added on different concepts over the time. And Matt, before we go any further, do you know why it's called Flower Child?
Well, I imagine like flower, healthy, flower child, flower girl at a wedding, maybe some sort of link there.
That's very, very creative. No, it's actually sort of a synonym for hippie.
Oh, well, there we go.
Very Generation X back in the day. Who knows what they were up to back then, but they were in a jolly good time. So that's Flower Child. So let's get into it. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually look at their to-go menu that you can find online when you're ordering for pickup. And the reason we're doing that is because Flower Child is solving some of the challenges with to-go offerings in some really interesting and innovative ways. So we're going to take you through a few of those today. So Matt, what's the first insight we're going to share today?
Well, let's start with one simple trick that restaurants could do to save hundreds of dollars per month. And you see it actually right at the top of the menu here. And that is having the opt-in for napkins and utensils. So large volume restaurants who are primarily off-premise, they cycle through hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of to-go cutlery, disposable plates and bowls, napkins, etc. So having this opt-in, especially if a large proportion of your demographic is actually just bringing it home with them and using their own cutlery, could actually add up quite a bit. As well as we know, the third-party delivery platforms do charge quite a hefty fee. So if your guests are ordering through those platforms, every way that you could save a few cents here and there goes a really long way.
And a related challenge that restaurants are looking to solve with their to-go menus is the environmental credentials. So consumers are increasingly look at the environmental impact of the packaging and all of the paraphernalia that can come along with an order. So by them making this simple change, not only do they save a bunch of money, but it does also communicate to customers that they are taking their environmental impact seriously and trying to cut down on waste as well.
All right, next we're going to talk about how to control customization to satisfy your guests while reducing operational complexity. So for concepts like Flower Child, that have lots of salads and bowls, typically these types of restaurants have a very high degree of customization, which adds a lot of complexity. It increases the likelihood that missing items occur. When this happens, Yampinga, we know this is one of the leading causes for guest dissatisfaction. It's also very expensive to recover them, so you want to limit that as much as possible. Looking at their salads and bowls, they've done this in a really smart way. So you could see right off the bat, they give you the option to add a protein, which is, upsell opportunity there. But they only allow you to remove certain ingredients if maybe you don't like them or have certain dietary restrictions. This is kind of the right level of customization that will help mitigate some of that operational complexity. Instead of doing a build your own bowl from scratch, this also prevents kind of weird flavor combinations. They know a lot of the flavor profiles and dishes that they're trying to build and go after. They're the experts, they've tested it. So the guests should kind of trust the process and then keep it within the guardrails that they've set there. On the other kind of part of the customization conversation, if we scroll down to the entree section, you'll see they've completely opened up customization, but that is because they've made it very easy operationally for them to build these dishes. So essentially, guests could choose any protein they want and 2 of any sides that they want. It's essentially become a 3-step dish versus, the salads or bowls that can be 8 or 9 steps to fully complete them. So they've given the guests the choice to build whatever they'd want in these entrees here. As well, they've done it in a way that kind of creates like a combo. If you were to scroll down to the prices of the sides and proteins, you could see there's a little bit of a value add there. So they've done this in a really smart way to create value for their guests, create the right amount of customization, and try and mitigate as many of those missing item opportunities as possible.
So these two tap into an age-old problem in restaurants, which is how do you give customers everything they could possibly want, but also do it in a way that means that operationally you can deliver it and everything doesn't fall over. And I think for Flower Child, they found two really interesting and quite innovative ways of solving those problems and needs of both the guests and being able to deliver on it consistently over and over again. And the proteins is a good jumping off point for the next topic we wanted to talk about, which is really solving that dilemma of how you encourage more customers to order add-ons, particularly where you're thinking about a salad or a bowl concept where there's a base salad or bowl that doesn't include the protein and you would like them to have the option to add on a protein. That can come at a significant cost to the consumer. So in this case here, it can be $5-6 from a base price of say 10-11. So you can be adding sort of 50% of the cost on to do that. So the problem is, how do you actually encourage a customer to add 50% onto the base price? And the way that Flower Child have solved this, I think, is very elegant. And it solves two problems when you're a guest thinking about the add-on. One is how much of it, how much is it cost? How much does it cost? Sorry. And the second is how much of it do I get as part of that add-on? And so what they've done here is you can see they've created this very elegant photography where you're able to really see that that is a very decent portion of chicken that I've shown you on the screen there. You're able to see with the shrimp, how many do I get there? You can actually count them in. You're going to get 6 shrimp as part of that for $6.75. So you can already start to make that calculation of seeing how much of this protein am I going to get. It's not just going to be a sprinkle on the top. It really does help to justify the price. The second way that it's justifying the price, however, is it looks very high quality. So they've raised the perception of how much this is worth by using very nice photography, simple, stylized, which you see throughout their entire menu. And I think that's why they can command a somewhat premium price point for some of their categories here. But you look at the steak here, for example, and you can see that looks really well cooked, good quality meat. And so if you're a customer, you're thinking for $6.25 for that number of slices of steak, that seems like a good deal for me. So it's a very interesting way that I think they're probably encouraging more of their customers to select an add-on with the associated increase in revenue that's coming through that as well. So well done, Flower Child. So the final area we wanted to talk about today was how, as a restaurateur, do you identify and tap into emerging trends that are happening, particularly in an economy as we're experiencing right now and have been for the past few months, perhaps we'll look to over the course of the next few months as well, which is where consumer behaviour seems to be changing quite rapidly and in unpredictable ways. So we're seeing some consumers wanting to spend less money out in a casual dining setting and spending maybe more time cooking at home. We're seeing consumers maybe going from a more premium offering within a certain category into a cheaper or better value one in a category as well. I think if you're a restaurateur right now, you have to be looking very, very carefully at your value proposition in the market, how you're priced in the market, and what are the specific occasions that you are looking to solve for. Now, what we see here on Flower Child's menu is we think they've identified and are tapping into a new trend, which we don't know how big this trend is right now, but they seem to be at least catering towards that. And I inadvertently used the word catering, but what's interesting about this is it's almost micro catering that they are doing. They have identified that there is a, if you like, family style occasion at home. And obviously family style in a restaurant comes from people dining at home. But this is where people as a family of 4 would like to be able to have a home cooked meal with the same quality that you would expect in more of a casual dining setting, but have that delivered to their home so it's a bit cheaper. And so as I scroll through down to the bottom here, they have a section, they call it family meal. And again, speaking to the simplicity that Matt was before, they've solved this in very simple way by just giving you, saying, would you like, here's a particular protein, and then you can choose some sides to go with that here. So if I wanted to choose my salmon family meal here, I can then choose one salad to go with it, I can choose one side, and I can choose a second side, and that means I can feed 4 people for $75, which
With
is
some leftovers.
with hopefully some leftovers for the morning, which is a significant saving over if you were going to be going out and dining in a restaurant. I think it's very smart what they've done here, and I'd encourage other brands that have got the relevant quality of food that they think could pass this test to be thinking about this family meal occasion and how they might piggyback on a catering offering they may already have, which could be more focused on larger events in the office. But is there a way that they could have a micro catering angle as well as part of their main menu?
It really bridges that gap. And Flower Child is, it's a concept that you imagine their lunch rush is really, really busy as well. Lots of people who are working from home or in an office will place an order and have a quick lunch. On the catering side of things, it could be to, cater for a whole boardroom as an example. But 2 things this is doing is kind of bridging that gap. So catering for, a handful of people, which is tough to place an order for sometimes, especially, if you have a family of 5 or that type of thing. But also tapping into dinner, which is kind of a greenfield space for a group like this that tends to focus really, really heavily on the lunch period. Another point here is you'll notice the photography of all of the kind of family packages here. They really make it look like it is on your dinner table. It's on the serving platters. There's nice wood tables. There's they really want to evoke the imagery of like this is what it will look like in your home. Whereas some of the other photos from earlier, you'll see the picture of the dish. You'll see exactly what it is going to look like when you order that for yourself. So, just this use of kind of imagery to help you visualize exactly what you're going to get and what you're going to present to your family, I think goes a really long way in driving you to order, meal for 4 or 5 this way.
That's it. And I think, so whatever occasion it is that you're thinking about tapping into, think about how the photography can put your customers in the minds of that occasion at the point where they're thinking of purchase. It really helps them just to envisage, I could order from Flower Child for my family. I hadn't thought about that before. That looks quite nice. So whichever type of occasion you're looking to tap into, do think really seriously about the photography. Yeah. Okay, well, I think those are our key points for today, Matt. This has been a really fun one, doing a to-go menu, something we haven't done before. Hope you've enjoyed it all as well. As always, we don't know who we're going to be covering next week, so if you have an idea for a restaurant that you think we should look at that's solving some of the industry challenges in just some innovative ways that would be valuable for other people to hear about, then do drop us a note in the comments or message us. But until then, it's bye for now.
See ya.